Hey guys, Welsknight here, bringing you another brand new episode of Welsknight's Realm. And we are back working on the pathway again. The response in the last episode in the comments, you guys definitely, pretty much unanimously all said that you'd like to see some landscaping. So that's what we're going to do in this episode. I've gathered up some supplies. I've got a bunch of oak leaves. I've got some bone meal. I've got... just some stuff to kind of spruce the area up a bit. So the first thing we're going to do is just kind of bone meal this whole area around the pathway, and probably going over into here as well, because that alone will make everything kind of come to life a little bit more. You can already tell that already looks better than it did. We're also going to have to use some leaves, and then we'll work on some other things too. Water features, lighting. We'll need some probably lampposts or some sort of lamppost design, and some of that kind of stuff to just kind of keep this place interesting as well. Let's get this area over here. And once it all comes together, I think the whole area is going to be really just beautiful. And I don't necessarily need everything to be completely covered in these, but with that said, I've got 3 full stacks of bones, and on top of that, where does this road lead to? It leads to a skeleton farm. So if I run out of bone meal, it's not going to be incredibly difficult for me to get more. Now, I think over here, we'll bone meal this, but then we're going to kind of break it up a little bit to make it look like it's kind of fading a little bit as it goes into this area where the gravel is. We want it to kind of wear away. And this is just too many flowers in too small of an area. That's just not going to work. Let's get rid of those. And what else can I get rid of? Oak sapling, you can go away as well. Okay, so you got that kind of going. So you come up. Yeah, look at how much better that already looks. And the only thing we've done is add bone meal. That's like nothing. So now we'll maybe take some leaves and just build a couple bushes here and there. And I like to kind of put them into the ground a little bit as well. I think that looks pretty good, so we'll do a little bit of that. We'll maybe do... Oh, you know what would be kind of cool here is if we had some bushes that kind of hung down and grew into the water down here. I think that'd actually be kind of cool. So you're coming along and you can kind of see the bushes over here, but not that one. That one I think needs to go. That one just looked a little bit out of place. So yeah, you're coming up. You can see the bushes kind of growing down over there. We can maybe get some more bone meal up here and over here. Hey, skeleton. Get away. Trying to work. So note to self, this area right here is kind of dark because stuff is spawning over here. So we'll maybe hide a torch in that hole. Hopefully that'll keep stuff from spawning during the day. But that's looking all right. Then what we'll do is maybe some trees. We'll probably want to plant some trees in this field as well. But we'll come back and do that later. This whole area needs some love for sure. Because right now, as you can see, it's pretty barren, and we want to want that if possible. Still want some stuff growing up there. Yeah, that's better. You just want to kind of give it this overgrown feeling. Maybe we'll put another bush right here, just a little one. Something like that. And then maybe one like here as well. Something like that. That'll work. That's not bad. And this tunnel is looking beautiful, I think, especially with those glowstone lamps in place. We've already done a little bit of landscaping over here, but we're definitely going to want to do more. I'm kind of thinking I might actually turn this little bit right here into a pond. In fact, I think that's what we're going to do. And I've got a couple of buckets with me. So let's just go ahead and do that. We're just trying to kind of get this up and over. There we go. And one right there. That should do it. Okay. So I got a little pond over there. We're going to put a waterfall up. Kind of hanging down. We could even make the waterfall flow into the pond, but I don't think that's going to be what we want to do. I do luckily have a bed right here, so let's just sleep the night away real quick. And we'll see. There we go. So, a waterfall. I think it'd be really cool to have a waterfall maybe coming out of that hill right there. But I want you to be able to see it. Although, you know what? Let's just have it so you can only see it when you're coming from over there. That wouldn't necessarily be bad. You need to go away. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to steal a little bit of gravel to use as scaffolding. What can I get rid of? I got too much stuff. Man. Actually, here's what we'll do. We'll combine those. That should get the job done. There we go. So now I've got a little bit of gravel so that I can pillar up there. And I'm thinking, let's see. Waterfall should probably come out of right about there. Although it's looking kind of like I'm going to need a little bit more gravel again. There we go. So we said right about there. Let's just kind of jump up here. And I think we'll put it like right there. And back a little bit. Oh. There we go. And then this whole thing needs to go. And let's just take a look and see. How does that look? And we got a little stone kind of just doing its thing, but that's fine. So it's kind of coming out of there. That's not terrible, but it looks really derp once it gets down here. So let's get that. And I think I see why it looks really derp. First of all, this stuff all needs to go. And I think this needs to go as well. There we go. That's better. Now, when we swim up here, we want to get rid of some of this stuff. Because it doesn't make sense for this block to be there. So we should be able to do something like that. And that should look better now, I think. Let's just take a peek. Yeah, that looks better. Now this looks still pretty weird. So what we're going to do is this area that's kind of covered up or hidden by where the water ends, we're just going to take that and we're going to kind of break it up a little bit. And then we'll put actual water buckets there. And that should make it look a bit better at least. Although, I'm not sold on it. I'm not really sold on it at all. So maybe what I'll do is I'll patch up that hole. And then I'll just re-pour the water. I think that was probably going to be my best solution here. Let's just a little bit farther. Still a little bit farther. There we go. And we'll just break that up. One there. One there. That should get it moving along quite nicely. And then we'll come over here. Actually, we'll put that there. There. Let's take a look at that. Let's see how that looks. Well, you know what? I can go back and tweak that more later. That's fine. But for now, you guys kind of get the idea. We'll just have a waterfall there coming out of the mountain. Just making things look a little bit... something to kind of draw your eye. But I will have to clean that up more later. It's not looking so amazing right now. Then we'll just bone meal some of this kind of stuff. We'll also add a little bit here and there for just some height differentiation, which is really important when you're doing things like this. You want to kind of vary heights. And then over here, we need bone meal. More. You can never have enough. It's like bushes. You can never have enough bushes, and you can never have enough bone meal when you're doing landscaping. And that will make everything come together just so much better. It's really kind of incredible what a difference it makes when we're talking about landscaping in Minecraft. Get this stuff going. Bone meal. Real exciting stuff, isn't it? This is why I was wondering if you guys really wanted me to show all this on camera. But that's okay. I don't mind. It's not terrible. It's kind of relaxing, actually. It's kind of one of those things that you do in Minecraft. You don't really have to think about it all that much. You don't really have to plan anything. It's just kind of random. And you just kind of want to, make it work. Just by putting down bone meal and bushes and stuff like that. Until it gets to the point where you're like, okay, that's probably enough. Like here, for example. We break a couple bits of grass and maybe one there. We'll maybe make that one too high and that one too high. You guys kind of get the gist of it, I think. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now we'll go back to the oak leaves. And we can make some bushes here. And maybe another one there. Just something like that. There we go. Just a little bit of that going on. A little bit here. You're just trying to kind of mix stuff in so it looks reasonably natural. Which is, to be fair, much easier said than done on a lot of occasions. I'll just kind of do a little bit of that. Maybe even bring that down like so it looks like it's kind of a hanging, it's kind of growing down from the side. So let's see, you're coming over the bridge. Yeah, that looks all right. Can do maybe some bushes in here. Like that. The trick is that you don't want to overdo it, but at the same time, you're trying to kind of add visual interest. So you don't want to go crazy with it. Let's do that maybe. Yeah, that'll work. The other thing that you have at your disposal for stuff like this, we'll pull out in just a moment here. There are, of course, vines as well. So if you get some vines going, you could maybe come up there and, for example, right here, this is a great spot to use as an example. Speaking of which, we need a little bone meal over here. Just as an example, you can maybe add some vines to the walls right there, and those will kind of grow down. Maybe one up here. One... Oh, come on. Get up there. Almost. There we go. Just a little bit. It'll kind of add to the wall a little. Could even do a little bit here. So when you come over, that's too much. We'll just kind of maybe do that. Just a little bit there, and maybe one here and there. You know, just a little bit here and there is all you're going for. You don't want to go crazy and overdo it, because then it just doesn't look right. You just want little bits. You know, little clumps of bushes, little clumps of bone meal, stuff like that. It's all pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. But just that alone, let's just take a look and see what a difference that made. That took, what, 15 minutes probably altogether? And just look at the difference already. Hasn't really been much. We'll maybe add some trees in here, you know, as we go. Maybe a couple, probably a couple oak trees. I think for landscaping, oak trees are kind of the best route, just because they're the most natural, and they're kind of the ones that you expect to see just like out by themselves. Like, to me right now, just seeing a random spruce tree in a field seems really unnatural, because spruce always tends to grow. I've always seen spruce growing in big clumps, in groves, if you will. So I always feel a little awkward when I see spruce just kind of growing by itself. We'll add some vines to the side of this to kind of dress that up a little bit as well. You know, just a little bit here and there. We're not trying to go crazy, but we're just trying to add a little bit extra detail and all that kind of good stuff. So we can do a little bone mealing in town as well. And then the last thing that I'm going to do after I take a nap is I'm going to grab some more stuff. We'll finish up and do some lighting and stuff as well. So I will take just a moment here to take a nap, guys, and I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, I am back. Now, as for lighting, I want to keep it really simple. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a fence and put a torch on top of it. Just like that. So that's about as simple as it can get, except I don't want that there. Let's do this instead. Oh, no, because then it'll still connect, and we don't want it to connect to anything. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put one like here. Although I feel then that like there needs to be one somewhere over here. I hate to put it on the path itself, but that might be the only option. What do we think of that? If you're coming up the path, no, that's too much light. Let's just do away with that. And actually, let's get rid of this one too. And we're just trying to kind of strategically place our torches. We don't necessarily need them along the entire path. Just kind of spread them out a little bit. It'll make things much more moody when it's dark, when it's night outside. And it also helps, I think, if you kind of vary back and forth which side of the road the torches end up on. You know, just makes it look a little bit more rural, I guess. Kind of backwoodsy, if you will. Now, we don't need light in the tunnel because we've got the glowstone lighting up there. So that's all pretty straightforward. We can maybe put a torch stand, tiki torch. I guess we'd call them a tiki torch, even though it's more of just like a stand with a light on it. Maybe one there. Just kind of mixing it up a little bit as best we can. No real rule here. Not really counting anything out or planning anything super meticulously. I'm just making it work as best as I can. There we go. Now the bridge already has lighting on it, so I'm going to leave the bridge alone. We'll maybe put a torch right here. And then when we get down here, we'll maybe put a torch right there. And that should do it for the lighting. The woods and everything here, I think, are fine. At least for the time being. You know, you get this nice little kind of pathway that goes through the woods and all that kind of stuff. I think it would be really nice to have a tree right here. Right there. And of course we get a real short tree, but whatever. I guess that's fine. I was kind of hoping for something a little bit bigger than that, but that's okay. Bone meal, bone meal, bone meal. We'll maybe put another tree right here. There, that's a much better looking tree, I think. So you got a couple trees kind of out spread throughout this area, just to kind of beautify it and make it look a little bit more appealing. There, we got another one. And then once we head back to the other side, we'll plant a few over there. We got the waterfall in the background. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way that this whole thing turned out. It's nothing fancy. I mean, as you saw, this is not something that's super difficult or anything like that. Ooh, big oak tree right there. That's actually a really good spot for a big oak tree. Sometimes when I'm harvesting trees, and I'm, trying to gather oak wood, I hate seeing those things. Actually, let's not put that there, because then it'll look goofy. Let's put it right there instead. There we go. We don't want trees everywhere. We just want a couple of them kind of spread around. There we go. And maybe one more, like, right here. Yeah. That looks all right. That looks pretty good. I'm good with it. I think that looks great. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think of the little landscaping we did there. And I think next episode, I think I'm finally ready to move on to something else. We've got our road to the skeleton farm. Did a little bit of basic landscaping. Not a whole lot, but some pretty easy stuff. Might do a little terraforming. I think some of these red flowers are going to have to go. I think there's just a few too many of them. So I'll kind of have to get rid of these between, just not all of them, but just get rid of a couple of them between episodes. Right now I think the red is just a little bit overpowering. Because moderation is very important as well when you're landscaping. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.